Is something that you chose at the beginning of the school year just not working? Is one of your curriculum choices not panning out the way that you thought? Are you ready to chunk it in the trash and start over? Sometimes you have to do that mid-year. Sometimes it's not a good idea. Today we're going to talk about that. What to do when your curriculum you chose is not working. Hi, I'm Brenda from the Homeschool Files, and thank you for joining me today. This is a problem that we've all faced if you've been homeschooling long enough. I have been there. In fact, the second year that we homeschooled, I remember waking up one morning thinking about my daughter's dreaded math curriculum that absolutely was not working. I called her to my room and said, I want you to go get your math book. Her face just fell. And I said, and I want you to throw it in the trash. And she was like, oh, what? Really? Yes. I want you to go throw it in the trash. And you have the week off of math while I try to figure out what's going to work. And I did. I switched curriculum. Best choice I ever made. That book that I had bought was not a lot of money, so I hadn't done a huge investment in it, and it was absolutely the right choice. There have been other times when I have decided to stick it out with a curriculum, and I was really glad that I did. So we're going to talk about those. I am going to be today your rational friend who's going to help you think of the questions you need to ask yourself if you are thinking about ditching part of your curriculum, okay? I just want to welcome you to my new room, and I apologize for not having a video out last week. Our daughter got married and we were a little bit busy with the wedding, and I am now sitting in my new room, which was my daughter's old bedroom, which is a little sad, but I was also kind of happy to move into it because I've been wanting a place to have a guest room and my bookshelves, and I have my sewing machine over here. I have a desk. I actually have a place to work, and I'm so happy about that. And she's happy, so it's all good. Anyway, I'm glad to be back with you this week. All right. Number one reason why you might need to dump your curriculum mid-year is if your child is not ready for it. You thought it was a good level, but now you're like, oh, wow, this is too high, too fast, too hard for them. They're just not there. That doesn't mean you need to throw it in the trash. It may mean that you need to put it in the shelf or the closet for a while and wait. One year, one of my daughters was very, very stuck on her math curriculum, and she just could not get past this skill that was really needed to go on. And after a while, I just shelved the book and I went to Mardel. Do you have a Mardel where you live? They have educational materials, homeschool materials all over. I went to the Mardel and I got a couple of math workbooks that focused on like counting money, time, measurement, little skills like that. And we worked in those little workbooks. They came with stickers in the back, and it just made us like, relax. She felt better about math. And it gave us a few months to work on other things that she was perfectly capable of learning. And then we picked that curriculum back up, and she was ready when we went back to it. So sometimes if it's just too hard or fast for your child, you just need to put it away, work on some other things for a while, and come back to it. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to trash it. If you found out, hey, this is too easy for my kid. I thought this was just the right level, but I guess they learned a lot over the summer and this is way too easy. Don't throw it away. Fly through it. Fly through it fast as you want to go. Skip whole lessons. Have them do a few problems. Just show me that. Do 10 things on this and show me that you already know how to do it. Okay, great. Nope, you already know that. Let's move on to the next thing and just fly through that curriculum because you don't want to skip skills. So it's okay to go fast and move on to the next level as soon as they're done. If that's in October, December, February, whatever, just keep going as their pace. If they're ready for more, go faster. Okay. All right, another reason why you might be thinking about dumping your curriculum is if it doesn't match your child's learning style. Now, if you are new to homeschooling, maybe you didn't realize how your child learned best. I mean, you might have not have taught them before. You might have been letting the teachers do that. And now that you're working with them, you're like, oh, wow, yeah, they need something different than this. Or maybe this is a new child to your homeschool and they're just not like their siblings. I mean, I've taught 3 very different kids. And so what worked so well for some of your older kids may not work for the younger brother or sister. And you might think this is just not matching their learning style. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to throw it away. Is there a way you can tweak it? Okay, so one of the things I was using with one of my daughters, she was just struggling to read. But she's a great auditory listener. And if I did the reading, she totally got it. Okay. So I just picked up and did a lot more of the reading, or found audiobooks or YouTube videos that could do some of the reading for her. And that curriculum we were able to keep going with it. It worked just fine for her. If it's a very worksheet based curriculum, maybe you can make it into games. Maybe you can get them up. I had a video a few weeks ago, I'll put that up here, about how to get them up and moving instead of doing so much writing. You can do things out loud, orally with them. You can turn it into games. Maybe you can keep going with that curriculum and just cut down on the amount of written work that's required, you know? So just because it doesn't match their learning style doesn't mean you can't tweak it. And then for next year, you'll know, don't get this kind of curriculum again for this kid, okay? Another thing that sometimes hits us is taking up too much of your time. I did completely ditch curriculum one year because I felt like I was doing all the work and the kids were barely doing anything. And you know, I don't name names on curriculum that doesn't work for me, because I know good and well that that same curriculum works for lots of other people. It didn't work for us. Doesn't mean it's a bad curriculum, but I felt that it was so teacher intensive. And I actually ditched it in the fall and said, we're going to do something else. And that's a sad and terrible thing to do. I had spent some money on it, not a ton. Sometimes money is the deciding factor. Hey, I invested in this. We have to use it. I don't have money to invest in something else. But this time it wasn't a lot of money, and we went on with something else because I did not have time to do that much work. So, you know, maybe that happens sometimes. Another thing that can happen is everyone is confused about how to use it, even you. Now, we all know there is a learning curve when you get a new bit of curriculum. It's going to take you 4 to 6 weeks, right? To really catch, okay, we got this now. I remember we do this and then this. All right, you get that book. Yeah, all right, we do this way. It's a lot to learn when you start something brand new. But if everyone is confused, you and the kid, and you're just not getting it, you need to do something about that. Maybe you don't need to ditch the curriculum. Curriculum companies are normally very responsive. I have emailed or called many curriculum companies over the years and said, I need help. I'm really confused. How do I use this? And they're very responsive for the most part. You can also join Facebook groups. I have friends who are on Facebook purely because of these groups that they need to be. So whatever curriculum you're using, the blah, blah, blah users group on Facebook, they can be very helpful. Search the questions that have already been asked. Someone else has probably already asked your question and was confused as well. Ask your question and let the other users help you, the people that have been using it longer. So don't let a curriculum go in the trash can just because you're not understanding how to use it. Get the help that you need, and then you can see, is this really good or not? Because sometimes they really are. And then the last one is something really to watch out for, because you found something better. Watch out for that. Don't get distracted by shiny new curriculum when you've already purchased some for this year. Go ahead and stick it out if this is working. Have your eye on that new thing that you want to get for next year, and that's fine, but you don't need to just ditch what you bought because you found something that looks cooler. That's a pretty bad trap to get into. So let's try not to do that. Go ahead and keep your eye on that new thing. Talk to people who are using it, see if they really like it, but you don't have to ditch what is already kind of working just for something that looks like it might be better. If your child is really hating a certain subject, let's say they're just dying about spelling this year. Spelling is just the worst. They're in tears. You're in tears. Everything is happening. It's horrible. And then you see this new curriculum and you're like, oh, that one is the one. That's the one that's going to make spelling so much better. Watch out for that, because it probably will be better for a few weeks. And then after that one becomes old hat, the whining is going to start back again, more than likely. And they're going to be like, I hate spelling. I hate this, because the newness has worn off. So that's not always a fix. So beware of that. Okay, here's some reasons why you might want to keep on with what you've already been using. Number one, I talked about it, is the learning curve. Give yourself some time. Be patient with yourself. There are some things you can do. Do you need to be more present with your child during this particular subject? Okay. This is a brand new history curriculum. There's a lot of components. You know what? Let me sit right here by you at the table and we're going to figure this out together. And I'm just going to work on my own stuff over here. And that way, if you're right by them, they'll be like, hey, Mom, I need help with this. A lot easier than if they have to go through the house and find you. They may not. They may just sit there and be confused. If you're right there by them, they're a lot more likely to get the help that they need. If this has become a very contentious subject and there's a lot of stress and tears involved with it, you need to change the mood for this subject. You need to say, look, I know you're struggling with spelling. I know spelling is not your favorite part of the day, but we've got this, okay? Let me pop some popcorn. Let's go sit on the couch together, or let's go sit on the back porch together and let's figure this out, okay? We're going to have a snack, put on some music. We're going to do this, okay? Try to de-escalate that day before it even starts getting stressful, okay? You know it's kind of a stressful subject, so let's do what we can to set them up for success and be right there to help them, okay? All right. Another reason you might not want to switch curriculum mid-year is you don't want them to miss skills or get confused, especially with things like math and grammar and spelling. Every time you switch curriculum, they've moved on to something else and they might have missed something else. I have heard of people getting all the way to 5th grade and being like, I've never seen a decimal in my kids' curriculum. How did we miss decimals? Because they were skipping around and they managed to miss that unit in every curriculum they used. It was easily remedied, but I'm just saying every time you move curriculum, you're missing some skill or skipping over something or something's in a different order, because every curriculum has its own table of contents, its own scope and sequence. So that's just a warning. I'm not telling you never change curriculum. Sometimes it is absolutely the best decision, okay? But be careful doing that too much, because they do miss out on skills every time they skip. And think about the kids, and maybe you were one of these kids that moved schools a lot when you were in elementary and middle school. Maybe you were a military family, your dad's job moved a lot, and you were constantly moving classrooms mid-year. You missed out on things, didn't you? Sometimes you got there and you're like, oh, y'all are still learning that. I already did this. Or they're learning something you've never heard of because you missed that unit already when you were living somewhere else. It's the same way with switching curriculum all the time, okay? That's a danger, so just watch out for that. Another thing, a reason you might want to keep it, boy, I can't talk today, is it might be a solid choice. You made a great decision when you purchased this curriculum, but they just don't like it. My oldest daughter did not like math when she went to public school, public kindergarten, 1st grade. Her teachers was like, she really doesn't like math. And I set out the summer before 1st grade to just make her like math. I was determined this can be done. I can change her attitude about math. All summer, we played with measuring cups and measuring spoons in the water. And how many of these do you think it'll take to fill up that? And ooh, let's add some food coloring and play with colored water. And this is math, measuring. It is? Yeah, isn't it fun? Hey, let's play this game with these dominoes I found. How many do you have? Do you have more than me? Oh, add yours up and see. I played math games. We did all kinds of fun stuff. Guess what? When she graduated, 12th grade, homeschool, she still didn't like math. I didn't really change her mind at all. She just didn't like it. And there wasn't going to be a curriculum that changed that. And so we just had to have that talk about, hey, some things in life we just don't like, but we have to do them. I'm sorry. Would you like some popcorn? I'll try to make it better for you. But sometimes you just have to say, this is life. It's required. You have to do it. Okay. Now, my youngest daughter did talk to me a couple years ago and said, Mom, I like my friend's math curriculum. We had been doing school with them at the library and she had seen his math book. And I said, really, what do you like about it? She said, it's just plain. It's just math problems on a page. Because at the time we were using a curriculum with a lot of beautiful, colorful things on the page, games and this and that, all these extra things that to me made it so much more exciting. To her, it was fluff and it was in her way. She wanted bare bones, get the problems, get it done. And I listened to her because she was able to really articulate what it is that she liked about it. And we did switch, not to her friend's curriculum, but to one similar. We did switch math curriculum, and she still doesn't love it, but she does like it better. She doesn't want to do all that extra stuff. For some kids, that extra stuff is life. But you need to talk to your kid and find out what they like. So it's okay to listen to their opinion. And, we didn't switch that year. I said, you're going to finish the book you're on, and next year we'll switch. So that's what we did. All right. Another thing about not switching is that sometimes they need to learn that, hey, follow through is important. This is a life skill. Yes, you don't like it, but we have this book. Mom and Dad have already spent money on this book, and you need to finish this book. I'm sorry, it's terrible. Maybe we can make some little compromises like, today just do the even numbered problems, or tomorrow you can do the odd numbered problems, or something like that. We can take our time. We can knock some parts off that you already know. We'll try to make it bearable, but sometimes we just have to stick with what we have. We don't all have unlimited resources to just change curriculum every time our child gets a whim, okay? Or us. All right, here are some things to do if the curriculum that you have is not working well for you, but you really don't want to ditch it, okay? It's not that bad, but you want to fix it a little bit. All right, one thing you can do is to pair up with another parent. That may be your partner, that may be another homeschool parent, okay? But have someone else who's available to teach your child that subject, not just you. You and that child already have a stress maker in this curriculum, so let someone else, a fresh voice, come in and do the teaching every now and then. Share that load. Maybe you can take their kids and teach them something while they work on this with your kid. Having a fresh voice and a fresh perspective and somebody that's not stressed about it can be a really big helper. So maybe your husband, maybe your friend, your aunt, whoever can come and help. That is really good. Can you dump the workbook pages and do it instead? I had mentioned that earlier in the video. We don't have to do every page in a book that we buy. You don't have to do every lesson. If you went to public school and you think back to your public school, do you ever remember getting to the very last lesson of the book? We used to get to take the extra workbook pages home and we played school with them. I don't think we ever completed an entire book in public school. Don't worry about completing every single problem of every single lesson. The curriculum is a tool. It's not there to make you do it. It's not your slave master. Okay. So you can do every other problem. You can, just have them skip whole lessons if they've already proven that they know it. That's up to you. Maybe you can just do it Monday through Thursday and give them Fridays off to play games or do something else for that subject, something that's more fun. So you just need to think about, is it too easy or hard? Is it that they just don't like it? Is this truly a terrible curriculum and I cannot figure out how to use it even though I have asked for help? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. Did you spend a lot of money on this? Did you borrow it? Was it free? Was it a hand-me-down? Okay, if you didn't invest at all in this curriculum, maybe it is worth looking into investing in something specifically for this child, okay? If you're using something that was free, there's no loss here except a little bit of time, but you can make that up. So the main thing you need to think about is, what is the long-term goal here, okay? My long-term goal is that you will be able to move to the next grade level in this subject, is that you will learn these things, is that you will improve and get better. However they can do that, there are free resources online that you can use if things are not working with what you've got. I think I've mentioned these before, but The Good and the Beautiful has their language arts and math for free on their website in the lower levels. Khan Academy is free. There's a lot of different free curriculum. Ambleside Online, Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool. These are things that you can switch to if you really need to switch, but you don't have the money to. Or you could just use those things for a time and then bring your old curriculum back out and try it again. Sometimes we just need a break from it. I hope these thoughts have been helpful. If you are facing a specific struggle and want some more help, feel free to email me and I will be happy to help you if I can. It is a struggle. We've all been there. In the meantime, I hope that you are having a great homeschool year. And next week, we're going to be talking about how to homeschool through the holidays. I hope you'll join me then.